if A and B are relatively prime, then A divides BC implies A divides C. Okay, so let A and B are relatively prime. So GCD of A and B is a unit in R. Let A divides BC. If A is unit in R, then A will divide C, बिकॉज ए बी सी को डिवाइड कर रहा है और ए यूनिट है तो ए सी को डिवाइड करेगा. वी एज्यूम दैट ए इज़ नॉट ए यूनिट इन आर, then A can be expressed as finite number of prime elements of R. Let A is equal to Q1, Q2, Q3 so on up to QL, where Q1, Q2, QL are prime elements of R. Also, A divides BC implies BC is equal to MA for some M belongs to R. This implies BC is equal to M into Q1 into Q2, Q3 so on up to QL. Since each element of R can be uniquely expressed as finite product of prime elements of R, therefore each of the prime elements Q1, Q2, so on QL must occur as a factor of either B or C, right? That each prime element of Q1, Q2, so on up to QL must occur as a factor of either B or C. But none of these can be a factor of B, because then A and B will not remain relatively prime. Therefore, each of Q1, Q2, so on QL must be a factor of C. And that implies Q1 into Q2, so on up to QL divides C. But this implies A divides C. Or that what we want to prove, that if A and B are relatively prime, then A divides BC implies A divides C. We can state this, combining these two results, we can state that in a UFD, if A and B are two non-zero elements of R, then A and B have a GCD in R. Moreover, if A and B are relatively prime, then A divides BC implies A divides C, right? So next theorem for this is, let A be prime element of a unique factorization domain and BC belongs to R be arbitrary, then A divides BC implies A divides B or A divides C, right? So let's prove it. If A divides B, then we have nothing to prove. So let A does not divide B. Also, A is a prime element of R, it is given, and A does not divide B. So we claim that A and B are relatively prime. Now, since A is prime element of R, therefore only divisors of A are associates of A or the units of R. But an associate of A cannot be a divisor of B, since then A itself will be a divisor of B, which is contrary to our assumption that says A does not divide B. Thus, the units of R are only divisors of A, which also divides B. Thus, GCD of A and B is a unit of R. Now, since A and B are relatively prime, so the previous result that we have done, which says if A divides BC implies A divides C, so A will divide C. Hence, the proof is that if A is prime element of a unique factorization domain and A divides BC implies A divides B or A divides C. All right. If R is a unique factorization domain, then every prime element in R generates a prime ideal, right? Proof, let R be a unique factorization domain and P belongs to R be a prime element. Let S is generated by P, that is ideal generated by P. Let AB belongs to S be arbitrary, where AB belongs to R. Now AB belongs to S implies AB is equal to MP for some M belongs to R. This implies P divides AB, and this implies P divides A or P divides B, because P is an prime element. So this implies A equal to Px or B equal to Py for some xy belongs to R. But what it implies? A is belongs to generated by P, or B belongs to the generated by P, because A is the multiple of P and B is the multiple of P. So both will belongs to the ideals generated by P. Thus, the ideal generated by P is a prime ideal of R. Right? Next theorem is, in any ring R, the union of ascending chain of ideals S1 contained in S2, contained in S3, contained in so on, contained in Sn, contained in so on is an ideal of R. So, to prove this, let S is the union of all the ideals Si over I. That is, it is equal to S1 union S2 union S3 so on up to union Sn. Now, since each Si is contained in S for each I, therefore S is non-empty. So, let two elements AB belongs to S. This implies A belongs to Si and B belongs to Sj for some I and j. We can take without loss of generality that I is less than equal to j, so that Si is contained in Sj. Therefore, AB belongs to Sj implies A minus B belongs to Sj, because Sj is an ideal of R. And so this implies A minus B belongs to S, because Sj is contained in S. Since Sj is an ideal of R, therefore A belongs to Sj, R belongs to R implies AR belongs to Sj. RA belongs to Sj. So AR and RA belongs to S, because Sj is contained in S, hence S is an ideal of R. Hence the proof is right.